Welcome, welcome. I'm Dee, and this is Single Mom Unguided Life, where I try to navigate through finances, motherhood, being single, and everything in between. And I bring you guys along for the journey to hold me accountable. This is my second income breakdown for my January budget. This is the last income breakdown for this budget, so we just need to go ahead and get into it. The date is 1/15/2021. And what's so funny is I thought I was going to have a hard time writing the year because, in the beginning we have a hard time. But I think it's because I'm working more so from home and I don't have to do a lot of writing that I'm finding that it's not that hard to remember what year I'm in. So that's what we have. The next thing is the amount that I received from my employer that hit my bank account was $1,595.61. I didn't have to pull anything from savings. I am rolling over $991.31. I was stimulated, so that was included as well. So let's go ahead and calculate that and see what we have. So $3,786.92 is what I'll be working with. And my hand has been kicking my butt, but we're going to move on from that. What we're going to do is, of course, the first expense will be giving, and that would be $160 to wrap up my giving category. My insurance, and that is auto, renters, and my valuable personal property. And you know what? That is not what's next. Oh, maybe that is. Let me see. This is what happens when you don't look. No, that is not next. Yes it is. Yes it is. Because what's actually next is my phone bill, but my phone bill is taken out on a credit card. The next thing is OnStar, and then again that's taken out on a credit card. So this is the expenses that will be coming out of my depository checking account. So let's go next. Insurance, and the insurance is actually due on the 20th, and that is $134. The next thing we have is the car note, and it's actually due on the 22nd, but I pay it every 28th day, so I have to pay it today in order to get back on my 28th day schedule to help with the making the extra payment a year and decreasing the amount of interest that I'm paying. So a little bit works a little bit. And this is actually going to be February's, because I've already paid January's car note last month, and that is $280.14. The next thing that we have is going to be our credit card number 2, and that is due on the 27th. I am going to send $30.71. So let's see what that totals. That is $604.85 to come out of my checking account. Let's move to the envelope system. I have 6 categories. I'm going to abbreviate them. Like, again, my hand is hurting. I'm feeling a pull at this time, so I'm just, the less writing, the better. The first category is fun money, and I'm going to send $25. I was going to send more because I am expecting to do something with a friend, but this friend is sometimes not the most reliable when it comes to plans. So I'm choosing to just leave the fun money at this amount because I do plan on doing something for myself. And I always tell people is that regardless if we make plans or not, I don't you know, my world doesn't revolve around other people and their schedule. So if they can't make it, or they're, you know, they forget or something like that, it never stops me from doing what I want to do. So that is my mantra on a lot of things. When, regardless of anything, I'm going to eat. So if you say, let's go to a restaurant, and I never hear from you, I'm still going to eat. So we'll be good. The next thing is gas. And with gas, I am going to send $60. I have under budget this category significantly this month, which caused me to pull from other categories. So I want to start building back up a little small buffer, so I know I'll be at least I'll have money for the off week. So when I get paid, it'll just fall in line. The next thing we have is groceries. And I'm going to send the 180, and I'm going to try to stick to that budget and even have some form of deficit, because I just feel like I'm overspending again in this category. Whereas last year around this time, we were averaging $50 a week, $200 a month, and it has gone up double that since then. So I really need to look into what I'm doing differently. I'm still meal planning, so that's not it. I did think that it was because of the meals that I was choosing. I was doing a lot of experimenting with new things, and it's like, come on, girl, let's get to the real, like simple stuff. We on a budget cook. So then for a household, I'm actually going to send $100. I need to re-up on a lot of stuff within the household, a lot of cleaning supplies, a lot of maintenance supplies that I didn't account for. And then one item I realized that I had not replaced, and I was supposed to do it last month, and I just realized I didn't do that. So I do need to go ahead and put some more into my household and ensuring we are re-up for supplies for at least 6 months. I buy certain things in bulk, and that can last me for, you know, just me and my son. So it can last 6 months or so before I really need to replenish it. So I need to go ahead and do that this time around. For personal, I'm going to go ahead and send 80. And then restaurants, I'm going to send 20. So let's see what that equals. Okay, so that's $465 total. All right, so for the sinking fund categories, I have 9 total. 8 is what I usually budget out of my income. So let's go ahead and look into that. We have car maintenance, and we're going to send 100. And we have gifts, and I'm going to send 25, though this is going to be allocated towards someone. I'm still not sure what I'm going to get them. This person really don't be expecting much, but I always want to ensure that I'm sending something. The next thing we have is health. I'm actually going to send $40 to health because I do need to pay for my medication, so I might as well go ahead and put some money in this account. If you watch my month checking, you've seen that I did account for my spending account, my flexible spending account, health spending account. We call it your spending account, but it's a reimbursable account. So I have to at least pay for the item before money is released to me. So that's why I'm placing this $40 in there, because I know that I need to get my medicine. So the next thing is we have miscellaneous. I'm going to throw 25 there. We have Papa, and we're going to send 100. And I had some questions about if I was just saving for my son and not myself. The sinking funds is originally for my son started because it was the senior year, and I knew that as a senior that it was a lot of things that he may be wanting to do. I didn't want that to be limited based on my finances. So I started putting money aside with the hopes of using that to pay for things such as his senior pictures, to pay for his yearbook ad, to actually pay for, you know, prom, if there was a prom, to pay for anything to do with graduation. So that's what the fund started as, and it has evolved into me putting money aside to ensure that I can pay for other things outside of that when he's out of high school as well. So I want to make sure I'm putting money aside, because in the past I have not been sending anything, you know, for him. And I feel like that was the, I don't want to say downfall, but it really is a downfall of where the situation we're in now, where we're looking to find scholarships to pay for his education, so I won't have to come out of pocket. So pocket as much, should I say. So that's why. So this one is strictly for him and things that I do with him. So if I decide to use that money to take him on a trip, or, you know, do something nice for him, it comes out of here. But I also have savings for the household, for, you know, making sure that I can maintain not our lifestyle, but maintain the necessities within our lifestyle. So there we go. The next thing we have is property. We're going to send 15. Travel, we're going to send 50. And then billing carryover, we're actually going to send $10.48. So the last bill, not the last bill, the last income breakdown, I was to pay the cable bill $35.66, but there I did make the choice of actually canceling that premium channel, which I often do. And when I canceled that premium channel, I left me with a credit. It didn't show up until it was time for me to process the actual payment. So because it was less, I went ahead and threw that amount towards the billing carryover, because that's what it's for. So let's go ahead and count that up as well. So it's $365.48. I don't know why this always be trying to slip my mind, but we're gonna get it together. I have to do my cashless envelope stuffing, because I know I will be taking my wallet with me when I go shopping, and I want to just make sure it's all updated. So with that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and pull out the envelopes that we use. Put this to the side. If you're not familiar, this is just a light envelope wallet I purchased from Amazon. These are my envelopes that I'm using. I'm just gonna, and what I started to do is actually put the tracking sheet inside, because I don't put cash in there, so no reason to make extra work for me by punching holes when it fits perfectly in the envelope itself. So that's what we have. And I do have a update as well. So let's go ahead and put these back in order of how they go in the wallet, so we can stay updated. And I'm just going to use my regular black pen, because I don't feel like getting up. And I think the only color that's here is a light color, and I know you won't be able to see it nearly as well. So let's go ahead and do this. So for today, the 15th, we're going to do a deposit of $25 to Fund Money. So it leaves a $25 balance. Then we have our gas. We're going to do the same thing, a deposit. And that's going to be $60. So it's going to leave a $60 balance. Then the next thing we have is our groceries. And we're going to do a deposit of $180. So it's going to give us a $180 balance. Let's move to our household. And let's put in another deposit. And this is going to be $100. So it's going to leave a $100 balance. Personal, $150. Yep. What about that? deposit, and personal is going to be 80, so that's going to leave an 80 balance. Now let's talk about restaurants. And this is actually the other way around. It's actually supposed to be 30 cents left. I spent 35. Okay. So with that being said, what I decided to do is first participate in a challenge. I'm participating in a couple challenges, but this one pertains to the envelopes system, so I'm going to additionally introduce it here. And I am going to do the zero out challenge. If you're not familiar with the zero out challenge, definitely check out Rochelle Addison Budgets here on YouTube, and she'll go into detail. Basically what you're doing is taking the change that's left over in your checking account and make sure it's zeroing out. So she go further in detail. I'm doing a little twist because I like a buffer in my checking account, and the money that's in my checking account is earmarked for items. I'm choosing to do this strictly for my envelope system categories. So I am actually going to zero out the only amount that is left in the category, which is restaurants, and that is going to be 30 cents. So that's going to leave 0 here. In the back of my planner, there is some pages, so I decided to dedicate one to the zero out challenge. Today is the 15th. I'm going to do a deposit of 30 cents. So that's going to leave a balance of 30 cents in this particular challenge itself. This is actually going to go towards my emergency fund. So I'm just keeping account what I'm accumulating for the zero out challenge. But when I do my emergency fund and debt update, you'll see where I'm sitting at as far as that. But this is what I'm doing, the little I'm doing to help me reach my goal as well. So additionally, we have to make a deposit today of $20. So there's a $20 balance. So let me just put restaurants. We started with 0. So that's what we have. So this is how I stuff my Cashless envelopes before I proceed to spending my money. All right. So let's start with what we have to work with, which is $3,786.92. We're going to minus the $604.85, which is the amount for the bills. Or expenses, shall I say. I don't know, when I say bills and givens there, it makes me feel like, you know, it's not a bill to me. So that leaves $3,182.07. Let's minus 465, and that leaves us with $2,717.07. Let's minus 365.48. And that actually leaves us with $2,351.59. Now, I will not be setting anything to debt because that is pulling from my side income. I'm working on that. For savings, I'm actually going to send $1,350 to savings. And what I decided to do is to throw all of the stimulus money towards my emergency fund, because that is the priority for my 2021 financial goals, or one of my priorities. And I want to make sure that I am equally contributing to it in a way that is beneficial to me. Another thing is that I wanted to try to build it up as much as possible, because I thought this was a contract year for my department, but yesterday when we had our meeting, someone informed me that the date had changed because how long it took for our contract to actually be processed. And I was like, oh, I thought they were going to backdate it. And she said, well, they backdated our pay, but they didn't backdate the fact that the date. So that is a plus and a minus, I guess. But I still want to beat this up because I want to make sure that I'm equally putting things towards my debt and my savings. And because I am putting things towards debt, because I'm paying my minimal form of the debts that I currently are like paying on, I want to make sure that I am being proactive with sending money out of my bank account and creating a good habit of continuously and consistently sending something. Okay, so listen, with $1,001.59 left to go into the checking buffer. The checking buffer consists of the buffer itself that I set up, which is actually less than the $715. And if you see my mid-month check-in, I'll link it somewhere, you'll see that it's actually less than the $715, and the reason why. Additionally, there is a buffer for the bills that I placed on a credit card. What I decided to do is, within this depository account, create another one so that money can be separated, so I won't be tempted nor make a mistake of overspending, thinking that I have more in that particular account than I do when things are actually allocated towards it. So this is my second income breakdown for January budget. This is what I have to work with. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be part of my village. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To all my returning subscribers, I thank you. Everyone, hit that like button and let them know that I'm here and that you love this content. As well, please share this with your family, your friends, and your co-workers. Peace out.